Hello everyone, hello from JB's Hair Parlor to you. If you are new here, my name is Joy Kasmaona, and my mission here is to make you love your hair, help you love your hair, and achieve healthy hair goals using sustainable hair care practices. So if you're interested in content like this, if you're interested in gathering more knowledge about how to take care of your hair, you can subscribe to this channel and also hit the notification bell below so you will always get notifications when I upload new videos, and I promise you that you will not regret it being here and joining this community. Thank you. So let's get right into it. Okay, today we are going to be talking about the low manipulation method. The low manipulation method is the hair care approach that helps to avoid damage to your hair and promote healthy hair. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today, and I would like us to go right in. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is what is the low manipulation method. The low manipulation method is just simply talking about you minimizing manipulation on your hair. It's a hair care method that simply talks about minimizing manipulation. If we're talking about it in a more simpler term, we're just talking about you minimizing how much you touch your hair, how much attention you give to your hair, how much stress you give to your hair. That's what we're talking about. So when we're talking about low manipulation method, we are talking about you reducing how you touch your hair. Manipulation is just simply talking about you touching your hair. And when we're talking about touching, I'm talking about styling, how you style your hair, comb your hair, brush your hair, heat style your hair, add chemicals to your hair. These things are what we are talking about when you hear the term manipulation. So the reduction in your combing, the reduction in your brushing your hair, the reduction in your application of chemicals to your hair, the reduction in your application of harsh products to your hair is what we call the low manipulation method. And the making use of gentle hair care products on your hair as opposed to using harsh products on your hair. And the use of gentle hair care products, we're talking about products that has ingredients that are just good for your hair, that helps to rejuvenate your hair, that makes or promotes hair health for your hair strands rather than damage your hair. That's what we mean by gentle hair care products. And this will be where I would also promote the use of organic hair care products. When we're talking about organic hair care products, we're talking about those hair care products that make use of natural ingredients. I know we've heard of cloves, natural ingredients like rosemary leaves. These are organic ingredients that they are natural. They add only much more value to your hair. They are advantageous to your hair rather than damaging. So I would advise us or implore us to make use of products that has these ingredients that are healthy for our hair, that are good for our hair, as opposed to using harsh hair care products. So this is me just taking that opportunity to promote the usage of organic products, natural ingredients on your hair, because they have good advantage, or they add good advantage to our hair. So the next thing we're going to be talking about is the guidelines for the low manipulation method. The guidelines for the low manipulation method are guides that we can apply to best see results in our hair when talking about low manipulation. And one of them is minimizing manipulation. minimizing manipulation is one of the first guide that we need to take into consideration when talking about this hair care method. Minimize how much you touch your hair. Minimize how much you comb your hair, how much you brush your hair, how much you heat style your hair. When I mean heat style, I mean using these heat tools like the hair stretcher, the hair dryer, those instruments, those tools. Minimize your usage of those tools. So when you minimize manipulation, this is one of the first steps that you need to take when you are wanting to apply the low manipulation method into your hair care routine. The second step or the second guide to take when considering using the low manipulation method is the usage of protective styling. Protective styling is in the name, protecting your hair. It's the usage of styles that the goal for those styles are to protect your hair strands, not to stress or damage your hair strands. So when we are talking about protective styling, examples are the mini braids or the mini twist braids, cornrows, keeping your hair in a bun. All these are protective styling, and these are the things that you should consider when wanting to use the low manipulation method. When your hair is kept in braids or when your hair is kept in cornrows, you don't touch your hair all the time. You don't have the opportunity to comb your hair. You don't have the opportunity to brush your hair. So talking about cornrows, you don't even have the opportunity to style your hair. It's not like braids that you have the opportunity to maybe do an updo, or you can style it in some kind of ways. That is still manipulation to some extent. But when your hair is in cornrows, you don't have that opportunity to style your hair or do anything to your hair. So your hair is just in a braid and it is there. You're not touching your hair, you're not manipulating your hair. So protective styling is a very important guide to you, a very important step as it concerns the low manipulation method. And then the next guide for the low manipulation method is the usage of gentle hair care products. Like we've been saying, or like I've been saying since the beginning of this video, the usage of products that do not have chemicals or that do not have harsh chemicals in them. And we know that these chemicals and harsh chemicals can lead to damage of your hair. So the usage of gentle hair care products, which are products that has ingredients that are only good for your hair, are what you should be using when you are considering using the low manipulation method for your hair care. So the usage of gentle hair care products that have ingredients in them that are good for your hair, those are the kinds of products that you should apply on your hair. And then lastly, for the guide for the low manipulation method is keeping it simple. Keep it simple. Don't do complicated hairstyles. Don't do things that will stress your hair and stress you at the end of the day because you are wanting to follow the trend or something. Keeping it simple goes a long way, helping you in using the low manipulation method for your hair. If you are doing something simple, then you just know that even the taking down process of that hair or that style is not going to be stressful. But when you end up doing complicated styles, you end up stressing yourself and you end up stressing your strands or the strands of your hair. So to avoid those stress both on yourself and both on your hair, keep it simple. So now we are going to be talking about the benefits of the low manipulation method. I'm sorry, permit me to use this method. You can say I'm following the trend, and secondly, I just need to be sure that this mic is on so I don't labor in vain. So we're going to be talking about the benefits of the low manipulation method now. And one of the benefits of the low manipulation method is the reduction in hair breakage and hair damage. This is one thing that we get to gain from using this hair care method, which is the low manipulation method. You get to see a difference or some level of improvement in your hair. Breakage comes by you always styling your hair, always combing your hair, always brushing your hair. That is already stress on your hair. So imagine doing that every single time, every now and then. this is something that tends to cause stress to your hair, and so your hair starts to break. And mind you, I want to use this opportunity to talk about my thoughts on using a bun as a protective styling. I know people that are very good at keeping their hair in a bun as a protective style. That means they just pack their hair, keep it in a bun, and they can be like that for weeks. But the thing is, if you know you don't trust yourself, don't do that, because you will end up still using comb to touch that hair. Depending on how you sleep, depending on what you use to cover your hair when you sleep, if your hair is scattered, you would always want to use a brush, or you would always want to use a comb, or you would be tempted to restyle, maybe when you're going out or something. You can't always keep your hair in a bun when you're going out, and that hair is going to be rough. I don't just want to make this video long, so I'm not going to prolong on that, but I think it is preferable to keep your hair in braids or cornrows, just something that it's simple, but then you know that your hair strands are safe. You understand? Unlike you keeping your hair like that, and then you are now tempted to comb your hair every time, style your hair every time, stretch your hair with hair stretcher. All these things, they cause breakage to your hair. So to avoid that, the usage of the low manipulation method, which will now be you incorporating protective styling, putting your hair in a protective style, and then you are good to go. Then, like I said the first benefit is the reducing of it helps you reduce breakage and damage. If your hair is always breaking, your hair will be damaged, because you won't even be seeing the results of growth, because it is true that our hair is always growing. As long as you're a human being, you're living, you're breathing, you have blood flowing through your veins, your hair is growing. But what matters is what you do to retain the growth, retain the length that is always adding up in your hair. So imagine you're always plaiting your hair, always styling your hair, and every moment you touch your hair breaks, because our hair is very sensitive to any little amount of stress or touch that comes across. So minimizing this, which is using the manipulation method, you would see the fact that there will be a reduction in hair breakage, and so you would see the length, every single length that is being added to your hair. You will see them over time. As long as you are not always styling, always combing, always brushing your hair, you will see those lengths, because they will keep adding up, and as they are increasing, and then you just see them. You will just see. So breakage will be reduced. You won't be seeing break. Your hair will not be breaking all the time. So you will see that growth over time. Then concerning damage, like I said about chemicals, I'm talking about chemicals like relaxers, hair dyes. These things are dangerous to the hair. They contribute to the damaging of your hair strands. So if you are always applying chemicals like every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, or even every month, even 3 months, three months in a year, be how they say it, that they relax their hair every 3 months in a year, it is damaging to your hair, because you cannot deny, you cannot lie that this chemical is causing stress to your hair. So imagine doing it every single time. That is damaging to your hair. And so when you apply the low manipulation method, which has to do with you minimizing your application of chemicals on your hair, you would see over time your hair will be saved from hair damage. You won't see any damage on your hair. Your hair would only be looking healthier and better over time. So still on the benefits of the low manipulation method, this is like a continuation of what I said earlier. The good thing about the low manipulation method is that it helps you to promote healthy hair. It just helps you achieve healthy hair. So when there's a reduction in breakage and a reduction in your usage of chemicals or harsh products on your hair, you just see that over time your hair just looks healthy. I think I'm going to put on the screen and just give us a comparison with my own hair, how my hair was before I started paying attention to my hair, to how my hair is now, currently, and from there moving on forward. So we see that it's the low manipulation method helps you achieve healthy hair. Your hair just looks healthy because of the reduction of these things that causes stress on your hair. So it is very, very important, and it's quite beneficial to us. Another thing about the benefits of the low manipulation method is that your hair, it makes your hair, retain strength and elasticity. And when your hair has strength, has vigor, and the elasticity of your hair is intact, these things are just another definition of a healthy hair. When we say your hair is healthy, we see it is obvious in the strands of your hair that your hair is healthy. We see that the strands of your hair has strength. It can undergo, like this. There's this test. Imagine you applying water on your hair. When you pour on your hair strands, apply water on your hair strands. Your hair, because water weighs down on the hair, but when you apply water or pour water on a healthy hair, it can withstand that pressure that water puts on the hair. So instead of the hair to just sleep and be sleek like that, you see your hair will it will bounce back. That's the only way I think I can explain or paint the picture for us. So when you see that in your hair, the character of your hair, in the behavior of your hair, that's another way to just identify hair health or hair strand health. You just know that the strands of your hair are healthy. That is why, very good, when you relax your hair, for those of us that relax our hair, after the application of the relaxer, and then you tend to wash your hair, you see how your hair is just, and then you're like, oh my god, that is damage right there. But then, we need it to, reduce the texture of our hair. Yes, so most of us, that's why we apply relaxer, just to have that sleek look, But that thing, it just shows that your hair strands are not as strong as they were. That growth, those new growth that you applied relaxer on, that is healthy hair right there. But then when you apply the relaxer on it, if I don't want to go into the science of hair, so I don't want to go into the science of hair, but then what the chemical does is that it breaks down the bonds that makes up every of our hair strands of hair, our hair follicles. That's what the relaxer does to the hair. So when you now pour water on your hair cannot withstand the pressure that water brings upon the hair. But when you see a healthy hair strands, they bounce back. They can withstand some kind of pressure that is being applied on it. That is what we are just talking about. Same thing with elasticity. Elasticity, just when we're talking about the fact that you drag something and then when you draw it, that's when you know the actual length. The same thing with our hair has that characteristics. It has the characteristics of elasticity. So when that's why sometimes when all these people that have high textured hair, I'm talking about let me use the layman term that we usually use, virgin hair, or people that have, that's what I mean by high textured hair. The hair texture is very visible. It's not like relaxed hair like us. Or should I say like us? Because these days my hair looks more like a virgin hair. I'll put it up on the screen. It looks more like virgin hair because I haven't applied relaxer. This is March, and this is going to be making it a year that I have stayed off relaxer. So my hair currently looks like virgin hair. It looks more like a textured hair. It's just the tip of my hair that still looks stretched, but the other part of my hair, it has more texture. So back to what I was saying, those people that have textured hair, when you want to know the actual length of your hair, you have to drag it. So it's when you drag it, you know the actual length. That's elasticity right there. If that is intact, that shows that your hair is healthy. So when you use this low manipulation method. When you reduce the usage of chemicals and all this, the elasticity of your hair is intact. You see the strength of your hair intact. This shows that your hair is healthy, and that is what you need. You need a healthy hair. So applying the low manipulation method helps you to retain your hair elasticity and strength of your hair. And like I said previously, one of the benefits of the low manipulation method, this current point, which is the low manipulation method enhances your hair texture, is still connected to what I said earlier about the people that have textured hair and people that have relaxed hair, and how their hair are fine and relaxed. When I mean fine, I don't mean in the sense of beauty. I'm talking about fine, like the hair becomes too thin, too fine. If it's becoming too fine, too thin, that hair is not looking healthy anymore. You understand? But then when you see a hair that has more texture, yes, I am indirectly saying that people that have virgin hair, their hair are healthy. But then we are not saying that people that relax their hair all the time, or whenever they apply relaxer on their hair, don't have healthy hair. But what matters is how they apply the relaxer on their hair. So if you apply relaxer every week, every month, please, this is the gospel to you. Please beat it down, because the more you apply that relaxer, the more you're damaging your hair. So enhancing your hair texture is one advantage or one benefit of the low manipulation method. Your hair just looks more healthy. We see the texture of your hair. It's out there, it's there, it's present. That shows that your hair is healthy. That shows that you are benefiting from using the low manipulation method. Another benefit of the low manipulation method is reducing tangling. The low manipulation method helps us, or helps you, to reduce tangling in your hair. When we're talking about tangle is an enemy of our hair, because when your hair is tangled, it can break, because your hair cannot stay tangled. When your hair is tangled, you would want to stretch the hair, make it look more easy to access, and so you have to either comb or brush or do something to remove the tangling. Those processes, all these things I just listed that you have to do to your hair is causing stress to your hair, and that's going to lead to breakage because your hair is tangled. So to avoid your hair being in a tangled state, or being in a tangled state all the time, this is where the usage of protective styling saves us. So when your hair is always braided, your hair is always stretched. When I mean stretched, I mean braided, not heat stretching. Natural stretching, heatless stretching, like braids. So when your hair is braided, it's not going to be tangled. So you saved your hair from tangling. And when your hair is not tangled, your hair is just healthy. But when your hair is tangled, you would have to comb to remove the tangling, and all those things are already you adding stress to your hair strands, and your hair is going to break. So one benefit of the low manipulation method is that when you use one of the guide of the low manipulation method, which is the protective styling, you avoid tangles. So you are not going to be battling with tangled hair every time. Why? Because your hair is in a protective style, your hair is in a bun. So now let's talk about certain tips to implementing the low manipulation method. One of the tips, or the first tips to applying or implementing the low manipulation method, is starting on a clean slate. When I mean starting on a clean slate, I'm talking about starting with simple hair care routine. I'm talking about hair care routine now. You already understand that I'm not talking about you leaving your hair. I'm talking about you beginning to pay attention to your hair, giving your hair some level of attention and care. That is you starting on a clean slate. Starting on a clean slate will also mean avoiding those practices that you used to do that causes stress or damage to your hair. Those chemicals, those harsh products that you have been using on your hair, you have to stop them. You have to take take it down, beat it down. That is you starting on a clean slate. And then applying hair care routine. Routine, in the word routine, we're talking about things that you do consistently, maybe weekly, monthly, daily on your hair. That is you. That is what we mean by routine. So talking about hair care routine is talking about certain things that you do to your hair, maybe twice in a week, once in a month to your hair. So I'm talking about how often you wash your hair, how often you do protein treatments on your hair. All these things being put together is your simple hair care routine. And then when I'm saying start small, start simple, we're talking about the things that you should do, like washing and conditioning your hair. When you ought to deep condition your hair, there are certain rules. I'm going to do another video on that, talking about things that we should do when it has to do with a hair care routine. You just know when to do these things. You have a set out time to when you want to do your deep conditioning, a set out time when you want to wash your hair, a set out time when you want to do your protein treatment, a set out time when you want to trim the ends of your hair. These things are simple hair care routines, and then in the consistent doing of these things, you just tend to see a good result in your hair. So that is one of the tips for implementing the low manipulation method. We start on a simple hair care routine. Just do these things, these little things. Give your hair this little sensitive attention. When you do this, that is you starting on a clean slate. Then another tip for implementing the low manipulation method is for you to be gentle on your hair. Be gentle on your hair. Handle your hair with care. That's also connected to what I said in the beginning of giving these tips. In your routine, you're doing these things consistently. It's just you giving your hair that care that it needs. So when you're paying attention to your hair, you're using the TLC method on your hair. You are the TLC gang, tender love and care gang. We give our hair that tender love and care. We're not harsh to our hair. We're not always dragging our hair. You don't losing your hair like as if they forced you to have long hair, or they forced you to want to grow out your hair. No, we give our hair that care. We are gentle with our hair. This is another tip to apply when talking about the low manipulation method. Then another thing to do is the usage of protective styling. I feel like protective styling is the low manipulation method itself, because when you are reducing how often you style your hair, how often you braid your hair, that is you just applying the low manipulation method. And so it is quite important. It is very important. It cannot be ignored. So apply this. This is the major tip in the low manipulation method. Braid your hair and keep your hair in braid. This protective styling will be you disciplining yourself. I've heard people say, me I no fit keep my hair for more than 2 weeks. So once you don't even reach 2 weeks, I don't lose the hair. That is not you doing your hair any good. But when we are talking about the low manipulation method, and when you want to see the benefits of using the low manipulation method, one thing that you must discipline yourself to do is keep your hands off your hair and keep the hands of another person off your hair, which is your hairstylist. So meaning that you can minimize how often you go to your hairstylist place to make your hair. Beat it down. Like when I had a client, I attended to the client to help her grow her hair. And when I told her that, she was like, hey, me once you reach 1 week, I said, man, you have to discipline yourself. So you stay a month. I started small with her because that was the same thing I did when I started paying attention to my hair. After I knew of the using a protective styling for the low manipulation method, I started small. So I started with using a month. So I stay off my hair a month. I just plait my hair and I carry it for a month. I just do that for a month. Then other times I moved to 2 months. So I'll stay 2 months. I won't touch my hair. My hair will just be in braids. I will just keep it. All I just do is moisturize my hair, 2 times in a week, and then I wash my hair. That was what I was just doing. I stayed off touching my hair, and that, let me not lie to you, that is how I saw major changes or major improvement in my hair, because I was not always styling. I made my hair and I carried it for a month or 2 months. This new year, I pushed it to 3 months. This hair, I plaited this hair in December 20 something, and I'm going to be losing the hair in March this month. By the last week of this month, that's when I'll be losing my hair, and then I'll retouch my hair, because it's been a year that I've stayed off relaxer, and then I go again. So protective styling is quite important, and so if you know you want to see the benefits of the low manipulation method, protective styling is the way to go. Keep your hair for a month, just plait your hair and leave it. If you want to use a bun, you want to put your hair in a bun, just know that you also be minimizing how often you brush that hair. That's why I said it's better you just keep your hair in a braid or cornrows. Just do anything simple and keep your hair like that. This is why you would not even want to think of using complicated hairstyles, because you get where you go reach. The hair was just, I'm sorry, I'm trying to be me. So I can just slide in some little pigeon. Alright, so it's going to get to a point where you just get tired, or even this time you'll not be looking fine again, and you're I beg, I want to lose this hair, it's not looking fine. That's because you did complicated style or something, you know. But then when you do something simple, yes, doing something simple does not take away the fact that hair is not going to look ugly over time because of how long you've been carrying it. But imagine you just having cornrows on and you have wigs. You just know that all you need to do whenever you're going out, put on your styled wig and go out. When you come back, you remove the wig, you're fine. If your hair are in braids, you pack your hair anyway, you wear your wig cap, apply your wig, and you go out, you're fine. When you come back, you're not going to be sleeping with the wig, neither will you be. I'm even sure that most of us, somebody like me, get where go reach, I will just remove the wig for the outside, but that's not proper for, ladies. But the idea is that you're not stressing your hair. You just use the wig, go out, come back, and you're fine. Unlike you having to style your hair. Imagine you are saying, I beg, I'm tired, let me just pack my hair like that and just stay like that for 2 weeks. And then you go out. And when you want to go out, you refuse to apply wig. You now want, maybe imagine you have things to attend to throughout that week, meaning that you'll be going out every day in the week. So for every day in that week, you are combing, you are styling, you are doing this. Those things are stressful to your hair strands, not to you. I'm concerned for your hair. Those things are stressful to your hair strands. You are stressing your hair. So to avoid that, make a simple hairstyle and leave your hair. Just let your hair breathe for a month, for 2 months. Keep your hair out of stress. So it's quite important. This is one way that you can see the benefits of the low manipulation method. Then, this is also related. The next tip I'm going to mention is also related to this, keeping it simple. Don't do complicated hairstyles. Don't do styles that at the end you will now be frustrated to lose the hair. I've seen people that end up cutting their hair and miss losing the hair because they just got stressed. Why? Because they did complicated hairstyles. Most of them, because they did complicated hairstyles. Others, their hair is too full. I've been in that state. No, not the cutting of the hair, but in that state of frustration because the hair is too full, and then you have to loosen everything and all. So it can actually be stressful. And then imagine you doing a complicated hairstyle and then you have to take down that braid. When they'll just drag your hair, you say, I beg, just put scissors, cut them. I have witnessed it. I have seen people act like that to their hair. But then when you keep it simple, you save yourself a lot of stress and your hair a lot of stress. So this is another tip to use to apply this low manipulation method. Keeping it simple. Do simple styles. Do your mini braids, your mini twists, your cornrows. Do something simple that you know that even when you ask somebody to help you losing the hair, the person is not going to be stressed, you are not going to be stressed, and the stress that will be put on your hair strand will not be too much, because you already touching the hair is stressful already to your hair strand. So that's all for today's video. I hope we learned a lot about the low manipulation method, and I hope that we are going to implement these tips, these steps, these guidelines on our hair. Remember, it is you minimizing stress on your hair, minimizing anything that would cause damage to your hair. That is the low manipulation method. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, learned one or two from this video, please do give this video a thumbs up. And if you like this content and you want more of this content, you can do well to hit the notification bell below, so you would always get notified whenever I post anything on here. As always, stay fabulous as your hair. Bye.